Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour. Brought to you by The Sky Lounge and Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Ale Hop Brewery Tours, and Jesse Moffett Entertainment. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment Conversations and has been recognized by the Sioux Falls Stage Awards with a special distinction for promoting the arts. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Thank you, Zach. You nail that intro every week. By the way, we were not able to attend Zach's show when he headlined at Voss's Comedy Club last Friday as we were in Brookings to see the Brookings to Broadway dance recital. Our granddaughter, Harper Lee, did a wonderful job as always, and always makes us proud, by the way. We just happen to love her and her little brother, Jack, and there's a little Jack story coming up in a bit. However, I did hear that Zach's show was awesome. That's not unusual to hear that because he is awesome. Look forward to seeing him the next time he's doing some stand-up, and hopefully, well, I know he's performing soon, but just, the opportunity to get to see him, hope that comes along soon. In the meantime, as for today's show, actor Lezlee Parker is going to be on. She still has some time being caught in the net at Olde Towne Dinner Theatre this weekend, including tonight. Then next week, she's heading out to Long Island, New York. That's home for her, to see what stage she can conquer there. So we wish her the best. Also, a very fun conversation with her coming up in just a few minutes. And then later in the show, a very fun pass the mic conversation, or conversations, we should say, from the Firefly Oasis.
Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day, and your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near, and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party.
All right, get that mug, get that schooner. Those that have been to Miles Inn in Sioux City or over at Oakwood, you know what I'm talking about. Or you get your cup of coffee, your spot of tea, whatever it is. All kind of depends on when you're listening and so forth. But we want to toast it to backyards, 3-season rooms, patios, garages, wherever you can gather together with what I call framily. Family and friends that you consider family. Had a great grill out at the Firefly Oasis, and while we've been using our new grill a handful of times already, Clark, that's the name of the grill, was put to an early test. Memorial Day came through with flying colors, or at least a good steady flame for hot dogs and hamburgers. All right, Weekend Eve Toast has been brought to you by Ale Hop Brewery Tours. People are talking about how great it is using Ale Hop. Now, on their Facebook page, you're going to see comments such as what Tina had to say. Super fun and convenient. You can go out, have a good time with friends, and not have to worry about driving home. Best of all, supports our locals. Well said. No matter what brewery in Sioux Falls is your favorite, Ale Hop Brewery Tours lets you and your friends choose any or all of the local breweries, plus a distillery. Book your private tours online, alehopbrewerytours.com. That is alehopbrewerytours.com. Now, if you happen to be out and about on a weekend, you can hop on a public tour. For more info, call 605-777-2183, 605-777-2183. Ale Hop Brewery Tours, where micro fans meet micro brews. Honorable mention. Oh, he's had one before, and she's had one before, but honorable mentions going out to our granddaughter and our grandson, most especially our grandson, Jack. I already told you that Harper had her recital. She did very, very well, and we just love her to death. We also love Jack the same way. But here's the little story about Jack. You know, Harper did great dancing, but Jack kind of stole Grandpa Dave's heart in the show. Before it started, I'm sitting on the left side of Carrie, and Jack is sitting on the right-hand side of Carrie, known as Grammy. So I would be what? Grandpa, right? And, well, anyway, we're waiting for the rest of the family to show up. When his dad shows up, Jack is one of the happiest little souls you'll ever meet. "That's Daddy, Daddy." And he says to Carrie, Grammy, "That's my daddy." Then he looks over and points up at me and says, "That's your daddy." All right, Jack, you get all the applause this week for that. How old do some people think I am anyway? All right. Coming up later in the show, a potpourri of picnickers talking arts and entertainment. But coming up next, actor Lezlee Parker on the Dave Holly Hour.
Sure, they have darts, and you've heard me talk about how ruggedly handsome the trivia host is, but all caps fun never stops at the Sky Lounge and Tea. And fun is best had with your friends enjoying live entertainment, as in live and local. Yeah, the Sky Lounge believes in giving you the best bands, solo artists, and comedians from the area. The Neo Johnsons, Elizabeth Hunstead, Skylar Volks, as well as many others. And a great staff will make sure you enjoy your fun at the Sky Lounge in Tea, South Dakota. Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony provide professional care for your hands and feet, whether you just want the basics or an extra special look with added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself, too. Quality Nails. Call for an appointment. 605-334-1463.
He's a bit flirtatious, but most of all, fun. Once again, here's Dave Holly.
Welcome back, everybody. Always a pleasure. You know, I say it every time we have a conversation about Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment, because it's always a pleasure to bring new talent on the scene, too. A new guest in the midst of Caught in the Net, but ready to head to something bigger this summer. We have Lezlee Parker. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you.
You know, I've been told that. I say, what about that Lezlee Parker? They say, oh, fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you've been busy, especially since getting here to Sioux Falls. You have a movie background, some film.
Yes.
And you've been very excited getting back into the world of theater.
Yes.
Tell us what started that.
Well, growing up on Long Island, very large Catholic background, went to Catholic school for 12 years, but St. Patrick's Elementary School, second grade, I was cast as Lucy Van Pelt in It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and that was it. I was hooked. So
On the way.
all the way. And I loved picking on Charlie Brown. I was the antagonist of the entire show, and boy, did I love these parts where I just pick on the poor man.
So that was an early start.
That was.
Yeah, and growing up on Long Island then, obviously, were you thinking Broadway?
Yes, actually.
You know, because we all have dreams.
Yeah, now
obviously.
my goal is to go back, and I'm hoping after what I've experienced here, I can get it maybe off Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to be going to, pardon me.
That's why we have cell phones. For
I
the
know,
internet,
exactly,
right?
so I can look it up. It's
And then I'll do a spiel right now for the fact that we're recording here at the Source. Coffee, Roasteria, and Tap Room.
Oh, this place
Yeah.
is awesome.
Isn't it great?
I love it here.
I mean, we've had coffee. My wife is having a beer
It's fantastic.
because that's what she does. Well, and she sets up a lot of things for me, too, because she's my executive producer.
Hi, Carrie.
All right, so where are you headed then?
I'm going to be heading back to Long Island this summer, closer to Manhattan. I'm going to be working with the New York City Dinner Detectives Company.
Right.
Working on that. I'm also going to be, I think I'm going to be studying my Irish accents this summer.
Oh, why so?
I want to audition for a show for the Modern Theater Company of Long Island called The Beauty Queen of Lennan. I don't know if you've heard of
I've
that.
not heard of that one.
It's a short play that was written 1996. So
Okay.
it's, I would consider not that old.
Right.
But now that you look, it's, Jesus, 25 years old. So I am thinking about that. But that was something I
Yeah,
actually
I
just
love looking
decided.
at the bios of people, and they were born the year that I graduated college. You know? Oh, alrighty.
Well, as a friend of ours stated, I believe it was Ezra Hunter, another fellow actor who's awesome,
Yes, he is.
who said, did you realize that when they look at IDs now that have anything under the year 2000, they don't even care anymore? And I went,
Wow.
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's 2022. Uh-oh.
Well, I will hit the big 6-0 in December.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, you know, some people are like, he's still alive?
Where's the party? Where's the party?
Well, ironically, it's opening night for one of the Good Night Theater collectives shows. So we already have tickets for that because we're season ticket holders there.
Fantastic.
Yes. But, you know, we will probably be around in many spots. And then there's a lot of us that are close that have December birthdays. We might have a collective December birthday in January.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But we'll alert you to that.
Maybe I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
That would be great.
see, I
So
don't
what are
know.
you hoping to get out of this then? If you're
Oh.
thinking of, you know, already going there for the summer, but wanting to come back,
Well,
what's the ultimate
if I'm
goal?
allowed to talk about it.
You are. That's why you're on.
The fabulous director Larry Eaton had directed Christmas Carol last year. And as you know, I was the ghost of Christmas Past. And he had come back to the original cast and asked who would be interested in returning this year for their former roles, and I actually agreed.
Okay.
And I'm hoping if Larry would allow us to all come back. I don't know if we have to re-audition. I don't know now that we have a new executive
That's
director over
true.
at the Premier
Yeah.
Playhouse, is Oliver. So we don't know if we're going to have to re-audition, but I'm hoping not, because as the amazing Kendra, our fabulous designer,
Kendra Dexter.
Kendra Dexter,
Yes.
who custom fit all of our.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping maybe I don't have to, since the outfit still fits.
She's actually made a few things for me in the past.
She
Yeah.
is so fabulous.
Oh, incredible.
I love her.
Yeah.
So, was that me or you?
Don't worry. we're recording live in a tap room and a roasteria, so you know what we get? Ambient noise.
Oh.
So people know that we've actually been here. We don't just mention it. Yeah. See, that was a chair.
Okay, that was not me.
It was the chair. I think I
So-
blamed it on the chair before.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the fabulous. Let's see. I was talking with Samantha. She was on your show a few weeks ago.
Yes, she was.
Samantha Hendricks is just awesome. Yeah, she blames everyone for crop dusting her backstage. So I never heard that term before until she explained it to me last night. So that's what. Going off a little bit of topic, but I'm hoping to come back from New York and after my summer and join the cast of A Christmas Carol, if I may, and hopefully I will be going intermittently back to New York,
Okay.
back and forth. I do have I have another address there, so I actually live part-time.
Okay. So you got.
I do. I live part-time
If it
there.
were countries, we'd call it dual residency.
I have dual residency in New York. So yeah, I spent 7 months. Oh my God, 7 weeks last summer back in Brooklyn. And when I got back is when I really wasn't doing much. And after the pandemic, and I got the email to audition at Christmas Carol, and I went, heck, what's the worst thing they can say is no? And I went down and I never got the call back. So
Really?
I never got a call back. I figured, oh, hell, I didn't get the part. So then they sent the cast list out. And when I got that email, I went, holy shit. And I texted my husband and I went, holy shit, I got the part of Christmas Past, which in all honesty is my favorite part.
Character of that?
And I have the book. I absolutely love Charles Dickens. My mother gave me a copy of A Christmas Carol in 5th grade, a hardcover, beautifully bound leather, red leather, that I had the whole cast sign
Oh, wow.
at the show last year. But it's my favorite role, and I couldn't believe I got it. And I mean, the movies you watch with Alistair Sim and Reginald Owen, and well, please do we have to mention the hard one with Albert Finney, who I'm not going to say I love Albert Finney as an actor, but when he sings, no. So, but yeah, and then that's about it.
See, Patrick Stewart played that once too, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that one either.
I thought
He
that's
should
who you
stick
were
to
going to bring
Star
up
Trek.
beforehand.
Sorry.
But you had to get a lot of signatures in. That was a very large cast, 56, I believe.
56 or 7, I
Yeah.
believe. And then, of course, with all the tech and crew and
True.
everybody, I think it was over 100 people helping with dressers.
That's
and,
amazing.
yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah.
Really good family.
What did you learn by playing that part? If it was something that you relished in, that, hey, this is one of my favorite roles in this production, and I get to be it.
Always be kind. Always say thank you. What do you say? And this is from my mother. I learned this early, and I keep it in my head. What do you say when somebody hands you a peanut butter and pickle sandwich?
Thank you.
Thank you. And the worst thing anyone can ever say to you is no, and don't get mad.
Right.
And don't let it get to
and
you.
of course, you've got the opportunity to say, no, thank you, I just ate.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
You can
thank you,
cover
I'll
that
save
way.
it for later, and then feed it to your dog under the table,
The dog likes pickles. Okay.
So,
All right, so moving on from that then. Oh, a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
This show that you're in at Olde Towne. My goodness gracious.
What
Caught in the Net.
show. Every night I sit backstage and laugh. And I always think maybe the audience can hear us because Erin Sharp, Casey Ring, Rob Zimmerman on stage, they are Ezra. I mean, they're all so fun. Samantha Hendricks, what a cast, what a crew.
That was amazing.
And Abby Salvi as my daughter, who is really stunning everyone and kind of making a little star for herself as
True.
everyone is focusing on what a fabulous character she's brought into the show. It's really fun. And John Bowe, it's fun, you work with all these different directors, especially in film. It's so different because they can yell cut anytime, line,
Right.
and this is very different. You can't yell line. There is no cut.
At least not before you're off book.
Right. It's like Rob Zimmerman telling the story about the show he had been in years ago in some other state that they did a summer show and they were in the middle of the production and one of the actors, not knowing, just yelled line because he couldn't remember his lines in front of the audience.
Actually, that happened when I was a freshman in college. Another guy on stage goes, and he even said it out loud. Well, he was whispering, but the entire audience could hear, oh, shit.
That's funny.
So that always brings great stuff. But you had a fun time at that, obviously, because you got to play a gal that starts off in pretty calm demeanor and slowly throughout the production is starting to lose it. Would you agree with that, or how would you
absolutely.
assess
But
it?
I always look at it as this underground, underneath of everything as you look at the whole aspect of the show and what actually the background of her character and her husband. There's a very, very passive aggressive, hostile almost to her and her husband and the lodger and everyone around her except for her daughter, who she dotes on.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of used Whatever Happened to Baby Jane,
Okay.
Betty Davis, just for her pure maniacal at the end of doesn't care, complete insanity, and completely loses it, but at the same time is enjoying herself being crazy. So that's how I looked at it, that part. But yeah, John Bowe, what a director.
He's amazing, isn't he?
He's amazing.
I've acted with John before. We've been in some dinner theaters together. The interactive ones, like Tony and Tina's Wedding and Finnegan's
We were
Farewell.
talking about Tony and Tina's wedding.
And he's amazing.
He was telling me the story about you were having it at the Sioux Falls Veterans. Am I in the right one?
I wasn't at that one. I wasn't in that cast. There's been several casts here in town from that.
The
But,
Tony and Tina's wedding, and they have to pretend they're smoking pot in the bathroom.
Right,
So they
yeah.
bought fresh mint, and somebody thought they were really smoking cannabis
Exactly.
and called the police, and the police tried to shut
That's
the
right.
show down. I love that.
Oh, that's right. We did them at the VFW.
Right.
Yes, that's right. I had forgotten that one.
I love that story.
But then in Finnegan's Farewell, it's all about this Irish man that wins a huge jackpot in New Jersey, fakes his own death, and then the will gives it to this floozy that he was standing next to when he won all the money. And there's this huge fight that ensues, and I play the one Jewish character. Out of the entire cast, everybody else is Irish, but I was his Jewish lawyer, Max Goldstein.
So it's a little bit like Waking the Divine.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. Okay, that's great. I never got to see that one, but growing up in New York, it's kind of nice. I mean, I feel honored that my parents were very into theater and getting to see so many different shows on Broadway and off Broadway. And every time I go back, I make an effort to see at least 1 or 2 or 3 different shows. So,
okay. So what's on your list when you go back now, this summer? What's the can't miss? Especially with the Tonys, just 2 weeks away.
Well, actually, I'm going to be going out to Long Island because friends of mine are on this theater for Long Island. My friend Jonathan Gaffner, who's another actor, is going to be in Cat on the Hot Tin Roof. I really want to see that because I've only seen the movie. I've never seen it done on Broadway. So that would be nice. Or, well, you know, it's another community theater, but this is, no offense to Sioux Falls, but, you know, with
there's a step up,
a
obviously.
City of, 8
Millions.
million,
Yeah.
So that, and I am actually going, I'm a music fan, so I don't know if you know, but Roxy Music, Brian Ferry, they're having their 30th anniversary.
Oh, okay.
And they only have 5 select shows, so I actually already have tickets for September to see Roxy Music.
Yeah.
So, and then I actually really am more into drama. Actually, it's funny that I'm in a farce because I prefer to be in the more serious.
Okay.
I had just got back from seeing Jeff Daniels in Mockingbird in New York.
I've only seen bits and pieces of it when they show it when somebody's doing a lengthy interview with Jeff Daniels, but it looks amazing.
It was really powerful, really incredible. Never saw anything like the audience reaction in my life. And I mean, in my life, the energy of the theater. I mean, it's at the Schubert, so it's smaller, and it's please update your theater. The seats are really tiny, and people are getting taller, and we were all like crunched, but
yeah, the ones built back in the early 1900s and so forth. There's no knee room,
and there's no bathrooms. They're like 2 stalls. You're like, no wonder the lines are down the hall. But yeah, it was funny. That's the first time I've ever been to a theater where the men's bathroom line was longer than the women's. I'm serious.
One more thing about the farce of Caught in the Net before we move on. Was this the first time you'd worked with Aaron Sharp?
Yes.
Okay.
And I had seen him
so
in...
now you know what Thursday is.
I do. It's Thursday Hug Day.
Yep.
And I cannot believe how many people know this.
Yeah.
And everyone I say, it's Thursday, it's Aaron Sharp's Hug Day. And I mean... I was like, I didn't even know you knew Aaron. And they're like, well, I don't. I just know of him. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll give you a hug. Yeah.
Well, when we were there for the Thursday night show a couple weeks back then, he comes out beforehand and he goes, well, it's even better that you're here on a Thursday night, so you get Thursday hugs on a Thursday.
Oh, he's so awesome. I saw him in Lombardi.
Oh.
And I didn't know who he was. And that was great.
Yeah.
And
see, here's what I tell people about Lombardi is, Carrie is not a huge football fan, but she loved that play. It was so well done.
I've been
and
forced to be a football fan. This is my husband. I know. I have to. But when we saw it, I actually didn't see it with the original cast. I saw it on the Understudy night. So yeah, Emily Glatt had taken the part of Marie Lombardi that night,
okay.
And it was really great. I mean, she did a great job. I never got to see the original cast, unfortunately.
Yeah, because Nancy Tapkin did a
I
marvelous
heard,
job of that.
She's great. But I don't know. It's funny. You still don't meet half the people.
True.
Well,
especially if you're in shows that have long runs, and that's the thing about Old Town, is you're not going in for a 2-weekend bit. You're going in for 3 for sure, maybe 4.
Well. This one was 5.
Yeah.
And
an added show on Thursday night.
Yeah, they added another show. And thank you for everyone for supporting us because that sold out in a night. So
Wow.
we were. And now Aaron, this is why I love Aaron.
Yeah.
John was saying that Aaron was like, "Oh, we should add another show. We'll just do a matinee. Let's do another weekend." And I said, "Well, I'd like to, but unfortunately,
I'm going to be gone.
I'm not going to be here for any of that." And so I'm just really excited because I'm flying in June 8th and June 11th. I'm actually going right into Manhattan at the Hideout. It's called the Hideout. And that's where the Dinner Detective New York is. So it's kind of a nice thing to have because it's little, you know.
Is the Dinner Detective a lot like a murder mystery?
Oh, yeah,
that
it's
same
all the murder
format and so
mystery.
forth that we know around here?
Yes,
Okay.
it's actually the sister. They're all the same
All the
company.
one for that's, okay.
But Meredith Wood, who's the producer, who directs all the theaters for Sioux Falls, help me, Rapid City. She does the upper north Midwest.
Okay.
And Fargo. I think they have.
Which is
Kansas City.
Norwegian for long way. Fargo.
Oh, God. Do you know Phil Capin?
No, I do not.
Oh, that's a Phil Capin joke. Love you, Phil. He's Larry had warned us against talking to Phil during Christmas Carol because of his bad jokes. No offense to your Fargo.
So, you always have to watch out. Well, I actually was on the radio in Fargo for a couple of years without being in Fargo.
Really?
Yeah, I did some of their newscasts here from Sioux Falls for a couple of years. Yeah.
The only way I'd ever
Interesting
know
how-
of that place is because of the movie. And now I'm very interested in going because I've heard it's actually a nice place to see
It is.
in the summer.
And you can see for 30 miles beyond it, too. Yeah, that's what I was told before the first time I ever went to Fargo. A guy that I was working with in radio in Brookings was from North Dakota. He says, "Man," he says, "you can see for 30 miles." I said, "Oh, bullshit." He says, "No, you can see for 30 miles. There's only one hill in the city of Fargo, and it's the viaduct that goes over the train tracks." And so then when I was going over the top of those that viaduct, it's like, oh, my God, you can see for 30 miles.
So it's kind of like Long
Yeah.
Island where I grew up. Everything's just flat. And then you could see on a clear day, you could see Manhattan. And that was about it. But that's when the smog
they might have
cleared.
a little more lights up there, though, too.
Yes, definitely. Oh, the reflection, yes.
All right. So you said that you've said a couple of things in terms of Caught in the Net, that you laugh backstage, but yet you are more a dramatic role person.
I am.
Yeah. What's the role you want that you have not played, that when you think of big productions or even small productions that hit that drama spot in your heart, what's the one you want?
I really want to do Rope, the original play by Patrick Hamilton that I don't know if anyone knows, but Hugh Crumb actually wrote the screenplay for Alfred Hitchcock, and it was done reel to reel. So he did it almost like a play. So when a door would slam, that's when he changed the reel. So it was all the same camera. But as the role of Janet, as the young fiance, I really would want to be actually, instead of having the two male roles together,
Right.
as the murderers have it as two females that murder their friends. So kind of do a switch and bring it up to date.
There's a lot of things being brought up to date.
Which would be nice.
Yeah,
So
so
I would
that's
like
a-
to play Farley Granger's role as Philip.
Uh-huh.
I think Philip is the one who's the leader of both, but Farley Granger's role, I can't remember his name. And he's the piano player.
Yeah.
And my favorite is the woman, she pretends she's a gypsy and she can read palms, and she says to him, "These hands will make you famous." And it's the foreshadowing of him strangling the friend so they could have dinner on top of him in the chest, which is it's dark humor at the same time. It's very dramatic. And I don't know if anyone knows, but that was when Jimmy Stewart had just returned from the war.
Yeah.
And that was his first role that
That's right.
kind of got him back into it.
Yeah.
And
they say that a lot of his, what we now would probably refer to as PTSD,
right.
was actually coming out in that role.
Right.
Yeah.
They had said that he was very odd to work with because he would have the shakes and go sit in the corner and hold his head.
But what a guy he ended up being. He had a few things go right for him, didn't he? Yeah.
Yes, he did. Oh, God. But another thing would be, I have weird female actors that I always looked up to. Kate Blanchett, Betty Davis. And this is an odd one that a lot of people might not know, is Tallulah Bankhead. Partially because of her awesome name, but
Right.
also because of her crazy life. She was quite wild. But Lifeboat, if if that was brought to a stage as in one setting of a lifeboat, I would like to be her character of the photographer who is this kind of socialite photographer who dramatizes everything, kind of like how our media is now, what she was doing back then, like, taking pictures of
life imitates art, art imitates life.
Yeah.
Whichever one we want to go with, you're correct.
Right?
Yeah,
so that type of a person who gets taught her just desserts by the sailor on the boat, who she falls in love with. And they're both older. They're not, almost like an African queen style where they're older. They're not young.
Back to Hepburn,
Yeah,
African queen.
Oh, my God. She's just, she was just
Ken
so
Bogey.
awesome.
Miss, you just threw all my gin over.
Excuse me, Mr. Ortnott. Yeah. And then she keeps calling him that, and he's like, yes, miss. And he just wants to drink. Oh, it's such a great show.
Oh, my. Fun times, though.
Yes.
Being on stage or whatever and so forth. But what do you want to do beyond the stage in the theater, then? Do you any ambition to direct?
Actually,
write?
Mine are behind the scenes. No, not writing. I am a huge set design fan.
Really?
And did some work with Liza Rose in San Francisco, where she had done a couple shows in a smaller community theaters in San Francisco. And she did a big, it was bigger at the time, was As Is.
Okay.
And I did the set for that. And a friend of mine, Dr. Lucia Rogers, had a show called... oh God, it just went right in my head. It was a fun she self-wrote and self-produced, and I did the set for her, and it was just a one-act show, and it was called Queen and Sober. And she's
like the title.
Yes, she's fabulous writer.
All right, so if you had to flip a coin between set and act.
Set.
Really? It wins, huh?
Yeah. It's funny. A lot of people laugh. I'm an actor.
No, don't
who
laugh about it. It's
really, I like it, but I'd prefer not to. And then I still have the drive to do it. So it's kind of like,
because I was going to say, you've got the chops.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You are a great actor.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. Really. I appreciate that because, it's, as a friend of mine said, most actors are very self-conscious and need the attention. And I admit it. I am fully need the attention sometimes, but I'd prefer, I don't know why. I'm kind of like a person who, it's like an alcoholic. I'd prefer not to do it, but I'm going to still drink it.
As long as it's giving me the high or whatever I need.
Yeah, and I definitely get that high. Oh, absolutely. When the crowd stands up. But, it's funny, after doing theater and film, I still prefer film. I like to be with the crews. So you were talking about writing, and we joke around about doing some films but I have been in so many films. We're actually hoping this summer to get a crew back and we had done a movie called Bunny Gets Boofed, and we want to do Bunny Gets Boofed again, or Bunny Gets, whatever. But all the same people have agreed to redo this short that actually won the New York Short Film Award for students back when we were all in college. And now that we're older, we want to do the same characters as they've aged and it's another farce, and it's very fun. So I'm hoping that John O'Hanlon, if you can hear me, please, let's do it, because it's really a fun show.
Where'd you go to college?
I went for a year up to SUNY New Paltz.
Okay.
And smoked too much pot, and then decided to go back down and finished my associates at Garden City at New York Institute of Technology. And there's another smaller school called... it's a technical school, just a smaller school. And then I actually got my bachelor's online, finally, after years of traveling, because I actually quit school my senior year, a semester away from graduation, and moved to Santa Cruz, California, and kind of decided I wanted to date long-haired hippie boys with really good pot. And I finally went and got it through Capella University, and then started going for my master's through Boston College. So you have your MA? No. After they came back and told me that my tuition was $80,000 a year. I finished a year, and I'm still paying that off.
Olde Towne just doesn't.
Well, I'm hoping that if more people will come and sell out our shows like they have on this one, maybe we could get paid more. But I'm telling you, it's nice to at least get a stipend.
Right,
you know, at least
that's true.
Is very kind and nice, because most of the other shows that you do, you will get something. But you know, I got my check today for my Mitsubishi commercial.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. I am so rich that Carrie's laughing. Yeah, she knows.
We know.
I went, I've seen it 3 times on the air though. So at least it's been on. And I wish that they would pay me, in royalties, but that's not going to happen.
No, you don't get that. Sorry.
I think I'm going to be able to get some beer. And my check is about a beer and maybe like a half a tank of gas.
Next week it'll be down to a quarter tank.
Oh my God, I'm not complaining, but I got it in the mail and I went, oh, okay, thanks. Well, it's better than nothing, right?
Exactly. All right. A couple of questions that first of all, there's one yet before I get to my last ones. What do you like to bring to the character? What is it that Lezlee Parker has that nobody else is going to have?
Can we get back to that one? Because I have to think about that.
I thought I'd given you half an hour since you came here, but
let's
No.
see.
We'll move on to the final 2, and then we'll go retroactive to that.
Okay.
All right. So when you're not part of the entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
I used to be a chef years ago.
Really?
Yeah, and I actually.
What's your go-to dish that you make?
It is a braised chicken with a sherry mushroom cream sauce, served with fresh smashed potatoes that are cooked with fresh bay leaves.
So you leave next Wednesday?
I do. Oh.
Okay, so that gives you time to come over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. It was one of my mother's favorite dishes. Yeah, I'm actually in the midst of writing a cookbook for the past, 20 years, but it actually is... am I allowed to brag about one thing?
Of course.
Because I actually did win the Taste of Home grand prize for my original recipe.
Really?
Yeah, about 7 years ago. I won right before I moved up here, down when we lived in Iowa. And I was bored and sent in one of my original recipes, and I couldn't believe that I won.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was for chocolate chip. I'll give you the recipe.
Okay.
It's for scones, and nobody cares. They're good.
So any other hobbies then?
Besides cooking and writing my own recipes, I like to travel. I don't know if that's considered
hobbies.
It is.
Because,
boy, as soon as this pandemic, it's still going.
Yeah.
But
I call it the pandemic.
Oh God, this is just wiping everything out. I want to find my passport. Somebody stole it, so I have to go apply for a new one. I know.
Lovely.
Yeah. So whoever has it, could you please mail it back? And but I want to get back over. I've spent a lot of time over in Denmark, and I want to go back and see my extended family. So over there.
Awesome.
Yeah, school, and that's all. I travel, cooking, reading. As you can see, I'm in the midst of...
got one along with you, right?
Oh, yeah. And I'm just reading. So I want to catch up on all
my
work.
So have you thought of anything for the previous question then?
What do I bring to my characters?
Right. Or tell us what your strategy is for getting into character.
Growing up, and this is another thing I have to thank my parents for, my mother was a massive movie fanatic.
Mm-hmm.
She would wake us up. Now, you have to remember, this is pre-cable. There was no cable. We had black and white television. We lived out on Long Island. I mean, we were middle class. It wasn't, my father worked for the Long Island Railroad, and she was a housewife. This is what you did. So she watched movies. I remember her waking us up. I was in second grade. I was probably about 8 years old. 2:00 in the morning. And the one channel that came on, out of the 4 channels that we got, was showing The Bad Seed. And my mother looked at me and said, "You remind me of Patty McCormick." So I had the blonde hair, and I was kind of a little bitch. Yeah. I was very stompy, and kind of like how Abby Salvi is almost in the show, where she's like, "I'm seeing Gab when he rides." Like, that's mine. Those are my shoes. Give it everything to me. Yeah. And I watched this little girl that actually was nominated for a Best Actress award at the time, who was 10?
Yeah.
And never went on to act again. It was like her only. Well, she might have, but I think that was like one of her only shows.
Very few.
And I was hooked by her performance. and seeing her off screen as this funny, giggling, normal child that my mother would let us watch these movies and let us stay home from school if they were on because
God bless her.
yeah, Bill, she would take us to the movies all the time, but you're talking about they didn't really have theaters that showed, quote, what we would now call like the State Theater showing retro movies.
Classics.
Yeah,
and so
classics
forth,
where everything.
We're doing a series, Hitchcock,
right,
or Mel Brooks.
Right. They didn't have that. So, my mother basically forcing us to watch this movie, and she'd sit down with us and enjoy herself as she, smoked her Ken 3100s and had her scotch and water at, 2:00 in the afternoon, because that's what you did. And just looking at how another actor's perspective of their character and using that as a guide, and kind of how I try to bring that into what I'm using for my own energy. Hence, in Caught in the Net, I'm looking at almost like a Betty Davis, slightly Joan Crawford type of what would they do as you go slowly and slowly more insane and manic.
Right.
And that's what I try to use, even though I am probably copying someone else, but I'm using it in my own way and using it as a reference for my character to grow. And then, of course, with your director, Larry Eaton, I have to thank, because, boy, from the beginning of when I first came in to rehearsals to the end, completely different and growing. Like 10, I know it's not 10,000% isn't really a number, but that's how I feel. Just the growth of having someone else help you. How many shows has he done?
It probably has
100.
Yeah, I was going to say triple digits for sure.
Yeah, he's in there.
No doubt about that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Well, see, that'll suffice for the previous question. Then,
well,
okay?
Thank you. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. So,
Lezlee Parker, it's been such a pleasure.
Thank you
getting
so
to know
much.
you more
Really,
and to
Thank
talk.
you.
Oh,
shaking hands.
Yes.
Give Carrie a hug. I'm going to steal her beer.
Yeah, she'll just buy another one. But thanks for being on and taking some time to be on the Dave Holly Hour.
Thank you so much. Really, I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And thank you very much, really. And I will see you when I get back.
I'm looking forward to it. Because we're going
Definitely.
to talk more about it when you get back then.
Well, hopefully that would be
All right.
awesome. I hope you all. I'll bring you some bagels. I'll bring you all some good
Please.
bagels. Really good bagels. And nobody knows this, but can I say one thing? Do you know why the bagels and the pizza in New York are so good? The water. Don't tell me. It is. It's
Really?
the water. Yeah, because all the water from New York City is from the Catskills. It's not. Long Island water is disgusting. That's all like farmland. That's all full of like anhydrous and like Roundup. But no, it's the Manhattan water's from the Catskills. So it's like really good water.
All right.
So there.
It's the water.
There's my. Yep. It's all in the water.
All right. Thanks again, Lezlee.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Hi, my name is Jesse Moffett, and I'm not a piano player. I'm a comic magician and hypnotist. I've been performing for over 20 years. I've performed at many events, corporate events, holiday parties, post-prom parties, graduation parties, state and county fairs, festivals, just about anything you can imagine. The funniest thing about the Magic Act is that I use a ton of audience participation, and that can make things really interesting. Put it down the front of your shirt. Stop being so, my hand won't follow it. The best thing about the hypnosis show is that the volunteers and their imaginations really make it a blast.
Holy crap, dude, did you see what you just did? You could do that possibly to girls.
For booking information, go to Jesse Moffett Entertainment on Facebook. That's JESSEMOFFITT. Or call 605-929-0964.
Follow the Dave Holly Hour on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Certainly appreciate you listening to the Dave Holly Hour. And no matter where you are, no matter what time, or whatever you like to listen on, it certainly is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. You know, we're over 9,000 downloads now. You know what the next step is? We want to hit that 10,000, so we're looking forward to that. But it is always a pleasure. Brian Chipper knows that because he's been on a few times already. Is this the fourth time?
I think so. It's a whole lot easier now that I know where you live, Dave.
Exactly, yeah.
Wait, that sounded weird coming out.
And we are recording this on Memorial Day for the Thursday podcast to come out. And we are expecting... let's see. Mother Nature's been kind of a bitch for about 48 hours now.
Sure. It's been reminding us who's in charge.
No doubt about that. That is for sure. And so we're inside now. We've been outside a little bit. We're hoping to start the grill. We got everybody inside here in the Firefly Oasis. And let's see. I think this is about the third time that I've recorded here in the Firefly.
Sure.
So it's great to have you, and you're indoctrinated now, and you can just walk up at any time and say, hey, Dave, what do we have to grill? We're going to have some burgers. We're going to have some hot dogs. I think we've even got a few cheese-filled hot dogs.
Perfect.
So that'll be great. Yeah. And in the meantime, what did you bring to this party?
I brought quail egg and goat cheese canapes.
Oh, man.
Which sound a whole lot fancier than they are. So it's all good.
Well, they sound great, and I'm looking forward to it. There's no doubt about that. But in the meantime, one of the other events that I am looking forward to this summer is the 40th anniversary of MCAP.
Yeah.
Mighty Course and Arts Players, of which you are the artistic director. It's going to be fun. There's no doubt about that. But you still have some other stuff going on besides that, too.
Yeah. So in addition to that, we have our kids camp coming up June 13th through the 17th or 18th. I don't know. I'm not looking at a calendar right now. And I suck at math, so couldn't quite add that. So we've got that coming up. Which is going to be a lot of fun. We still have a couple slots left for that open. We're currently seeking directors for our winter show coming up. It's a collection of 5 short plays, and so we want to give first or second time actors their chance at 15 to 20 minutes as part of our season and build out a show based on that. And Storytellers Anonymous, which is the other thing that we do.
That's right.
Macy Lupika and I are doing a fantastic show coming up in July. We actually just met last week and scheduled an actual date for it. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, so you got some stuff going on. In the meantime, when it comes to, taking a little break, at least, from the season at least.
Yeah.
What do you look forward to most about taking that break? Because it's a boom, boom, boom thing throughout the rest of the year for you.
It is, and so it's never a complete break, especially this season. It's just more of a slowdown. But honestly, spending a lot of time with my kid. He's so great, and he's almost 2, and he's turning into an actual person with a
starting to get that personality
and
and so forth.
Dislikes and substantial amount of sass, so that's wonderful. And then
that's a great substantial amount of sass.
Yes,
I like that.
Thank you. Yeah. That, and then my D&D group poke and prod at each other to get together, especially since we're all actors. This is the time when it's like, all right.
And then you're also a big soccer fan. Excuse me, football.
Sure. Yeah. Yep. And my team, the season just ended up, but Chelsea Football Club's had a rough year with their owner getting sanctioned and having to go through a sale and all sorts of stuff. So it's been interesting as a fan of that to watch how they're working on getting through. Just sort of limping along, but it's over now. So new owners, new gear for today.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
That's right.
No doubt about that. So what do you expect when it comes to your camps and so forth for the kids? What are you looking for to get them interested in theater? And do you kind of look at them and go, even at that young age, think, okay, there's a potential?
Yeah. I mean, it's not an active, scouting thing,
right?
But Corson's always been really, really great. It's in its DNA about being an accessible community theater that, in addition to providing high art, also allows people to take their first steps, and that extends down to the kids too. So really, it's designed to be 1 week, either a morning or an afternoon session. So that way it's not so robust that it's going to turn people off of, hey, this is my first time and I'm interested and I want to check it out. And so it's a combination of some games and actually putting together a 20-minute show, so that way they get a feel of what their first steps are, of being told what to do, working together to tell a story, and actually having a wonderful moment of we've achieved this and now it's a production. So it's always a great time with the kids, and I got to do it myself for the first time last year, and it was such a wonderful experience to be able to take the reins of it.
Now, did you ever do a camp when you were a kid?
No, gosh.
Were they even available then?
They were, but I was a late bloomer into theater, so I didn't do my first anything until I was 16 or 17 with it. So I missed all of that and sort of get to live vicariously through seeing these kiddos take their first steps. And it's always fun to just watch them sort of, go through, do, and then that day of performance when there's an audience there and they say something that gets an actual laugh, watching just
get the reaction.
Yeah, that little neuron flip, and they get it.
That's fantastic, man. And so much. I am really looking forward to the 40th, but I know that we're going to be talking about that in a few weeks yet. Coming up right after the 4th of July, that episode will air. Then we're going to be talking about that. But in the meantime, give us just kind of a preview. What are they going to be looking at?
Oh, sure. So it's going to be... we're throwing our doors open to the community. Starting in the afternoon, we're going to have hors d'oeuvres and a ribbon cutting with the Chamber of Commerce. But we also have like 100-year-old hand-painted banner that used to exist at the proscenium. And we're going to unveil that under plexiglass in its new permanent place. Elizabeth Hunstead's coming out to do music in the evening before it all slides over to the bar and turns into hopefully my 40th birthday party too.
Really?
Yeah.
At the same... Oh, man, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I love that. And count on us being there.
Darn right.
Yeah, and in the meantime, count on us being season ticket holders for next year. Because you guys do such a great job. People say, well, what about Mighty Corsnarts? It's like, if you've not been there, go.
Yeah.
Tickets are inexpensive, first of all.
I second that. Go, please.
Yeah. And have a great time because you do a lot of wonderful stuff there.
Thank
you. And it's top-notch people, that you've had there. Think about, I think, Emily Dykstra, Armin, Aaron Sharp, and those two are married now.
I know, I did their wedding.
You did their wedding, that's right. And then, you've got Nathan Sparks has been there, Emily Wilson has been a part of that.
She's going to be so mad you stammered on her last name.
Yeah. Yeah, she will be, especially since she and I are going to be doing a few shows together. Possibly even at MCAP.
Yeah.
We might be doing something there. So
Stay
we
tuned.
we look forward to that, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks. I appreciate it. We've got a lot of people here that I kind of want to get on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So let's bring Reuben Reyes Rodriguez on next. Thank you, Brian Shipper. Here comes the Triple R, and he is the man that plays that bass and funky McBass, isn't it? Isn't that what you call yourself, buddy?
That would be my Instagram and Snapchat handle.
Yeah. Hi, my friend. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Yeah. A little disappointed, must admit.
How so?
Well, we're having a party here.
That we are.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And
beautiful
you wondered what to bring and so forth. And I said, bring one of your decadent desserts. Because at my 100th episode and second anniversary party.
Great party.
Oh, it was. No doubt about that. You brought some really great homemade goodies.
I did.
You phoned it in this time, though, didn't you? You went to Hy-Vee.
My most vehement apologies about that. I have an excuse. I'd say it was an explanation. It's an excuse. I was playing Friday. Played twice on Saturday.
Oh, did you really? Okay.
Solo set last night.
You know what?
So,
I always give kudos to that as well as excuses. Because I couldn't go to a friend's show the other night because our granddaughter had a dance recital.
Awesome.
And grandchildren trump everything.
That they do.
Yeah,
that they do.
Yeah, and I also give kudos to those that if you have a gig, obviously that trumps stuff too.
Yeah.
So you get an excuse. You get a pass this time, my friend.
This time, thank you.
Well, I say that because one of the last times you were here in this house, in this building, that was upstairs because it was cold and it was wintertime.
Yes.
I mean, you brought tacos.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yes, and that's Carrie's my wife's favorite thing in the world is Mexican, and you brought tacos, and you brought a ton of them, and your response was, "I'm a Rodriguez. I know how to bring tacos." And it was just such a cool bit, and you were, if she didn't love you already, she did after that. No doubt about that.
I'm glad that was endearing.
Yeah. No doubt. So where were you playing the past weekend then? What kind of gigs you have?
So Friday, Saturday, we did 2 nights set over at Bin 201, and that was with my friends Audrey Vargas and Gretchen Schultz.
Oh, love them.
Yeah. And
great people.
Yeah, they're absolutely fantastic. They have a great duo worked out, and they asked myself, John Kelly, who's a keyboard player in town, and drummer Chris Hill to back them up. So they already had an existent great set worked out, and we just backed them up, and so that was a really good time. And then also played with Jack Simpson, Joel Shotwell, and Al Bervin down at Swamp Daddies on Saturday. So.
You should really get yourself involved with some good musicians.
I feel like they're slumming it.
Yeah, some awesome people you've been playing with. No doubt about that.
It's been pretty good.
That's fantastic. And, in the meantime, don't you have a gig coming up, too? Where it's actually Reuben Rodriguez.
Yes.
That's all?
I do. Well, that was last night.
It was?
At Tinner's. Yeah, I did
Damn,
a solo set.
It.
Yep, solo set. Well, don't worry about it. It was cool. It was just before the weather cracked. So
yeah, I was going to say, we had a few things going on overnight with no power.
Yeah, and it was balmy out. So sweating through the hot tunes all night. But that was a really good time. Everybody was really cool.
Wasn't there a sweating of the oldies that Richard Simmons has?
I think I don't have the hair game that he has any longer.
What do you love about performing?
Oh, man. It's never the same. It's never the same.
Sure.
You can play the same songs 1,000 times, but with each crowd, it's the energy it's transferred back and forth. You throw some out, you get a little bit back, and every musician you play with, it's just a different conversation. So it's this ever evolving, beautiful thing. Yeah, just kind of give yourself to that and see what happens.
Yeah. What about what's the group that you actually have now?
Yeah.
Is it Reuben Rodriguez Trio, or do we have more of an experience? What are we going with?
Okay, so there are 2 bands that I'm currently had leading, kind of. There's one band called the Overnights. I'm working with Seth
We
Curl.
talked about that previously.
Seth Curl and those cats, Seth Curl, Victor Faini, and Thomas Curl. That's actually a band. That's like a group. The Reuben Rodriguez Trio or Quartet, whatever that is.
Whatever comes about,
yeah,
you can book.
That's effectively... It's just a text thread of, I'm like, hey, who's free on this day? And whoever responds first is in the band. Not a lot of applications. Yeah, are you available?
Oh, my. I just had one of those funky little...
Yeah.
The helicopter things, I think. Yeah. It flew in from the outside
right
as we are
board.
recording here in the, not the Dipsy Doodle Studios, but we are here in the Firefly Oasis, which is the 3-season room, as well as the extended patio. And we're going to be getting that grill going soon.
Excited for
What are
that.
you looking forward to on the grill?
Man, just a burger. And I saw there's some avocado in the game over here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to probably abuse that.
Okay. Abuse it even. All right. So we talked about the fact that you just went to Hy-Vee to bring the dessert, but you are an incredible baker. What is the go-to for you when it comes to making something special?
Oh, boy. I try to mix it up. As banal as it seems, I'd say the best thing that I can make just from scratch, chocolate chip cookies.
Seriously?
Yeah, chocolate chip cookies.
Well,
yeah.
Melissa brought chocolate chip cookies, homemade chocolate
Wonderful.
chips. They taste pretty damn fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting
She's
them
having
right
one. Actually, this is kind of fun because somebody that was supposed to be on today.
Jamie?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard
couldn't because she just got back from Chicago, performing there. And we still have a few weeks to talk about her tour that she has coming up with Prairie Madness.
Yeah.
Later on. But, she's pretty well exhausted from just getting back.
I can imagine. I heard about that mishap.
The weather situation and so forth. She said, can we reschedule? It's like, yeah, certainly not a problem because she's such a cool gal anyway.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
she was phenomenal on Late Night Boom and all that.
But, you know, a couple weeks, or not a couple weeks, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
During the midst of COVID, actually, early COVID, we were at Melissa's house. That's where we had this. And then everybody that was there, we brought them on and had them on the show. So it's kind of a repeat of that. Except that was just all the unpaid staff. Now it includes the unpaid guests.
Yeah, as well as so.
You're getting paid in burgers.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All
take
right.
it. Yeah,
I figured you would.
Yeah. Venues usually don't offer that. They're like, there's a flat rate for 3 hours. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to need 4 pounds of brisket.
Oh, brisket.
Yeah. Yeah, if you smoke it, I would play for brisket.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't made brisket yet, but I want to because I've got Clark, the new grill.
Yeah.
And you've already experienced Clark one time.
Yes.
Yeah, you were here.
Fine work does.
Oh, it does. So we're looking forward to some burgers, some hot dogs, and everything else. But Reuben Rodriguez, we are always looking forward to seeing you, my friend. I
love you, buddy.
Yeah, and it's just always such fun to have you on the show, but to also to go out and see you perform.
Thank you.
You are such a joy.
Yeah.
To have in our arts and entertainment.
Can I plug some
yes,
stuff
you
real
may.
quick?
Of
All right,
course.
Cool. So for sure, the big shows that I got coming up on June 24th, I'm going to be headlining at the Levitt with Brian Hannigan.
Oh man,
yeah, quintet. So that's going to be Emmanuel, Michael.
Wow.
Yeah, Bryce,
Emmanuel's
Joe.
going to be back for that.
Jim Spears, myself.
Wow.
So that'll be really fun. And then the following night.
Again, you should really get yourself involved with some people that have some talent.
So that'll be at the Levitt, and then the following night I'll be at our wine bar with the Overnights. So come check it out, guys.
To see the Overnights?
Yes, sir.
I'm looking forward to that, brother.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Thanks, Dave.
Reuben, thank you, my friend. Love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right, Roxy, are you ready? She's not. Okay. Roxy is one of our neighbors, backdoor neighbors, kind of catty corner a little bit. She happens to be a great artist. Oh, look at her. Oh, did everybody shame her into that? A round of applause for the audience. Yes. Roxy, welcome to the Dave Holly Hour. You do have to sit a little closer to the microphone. There you go.
Okay.
How are you?
Good.
Wonderful. And you are such an incredible artist. It has been so fun being your neighbor. Can you imagine? It's been 14 years that we've been here now.
Yep.
And you guys have been here longer.
20 years.
20 years. Okay. Well, it's so fun to see what you have going on, sometimes even in the backyard. Yeah, because you make some great art, and now we are the proud owners of one of your pieces that is a photo of your son, Ryder.
Yes.
Yeah, and that has actually gone on to be something more than just a picture. We have root beer and cream soda or lime soda?
It is a lemon lime.
Lemon lime, okay.
On Jones soda bottles.
Jones soda bottles, that's awesome. And how did that come about that you actually ended up being able to get that on there?
I was at Hy-Vee.
Okay.
And I was looking at the Jones sodas, the pictures, because
Right.
I like the pictures of the bottles. And I seen where you could just submit pictures. And so I just submitted like 4 of them.
Uh-huh.
And 2 of them were chosen.
And they put
And
Ryder
they put
on
them
there.
on, yep.
That's fantastic. Now the piece that we have then, how is that different from what we would see on the cans and so forth?
That is double exposure photography.
Okay. What
So-
got you into that?
I was just playing around. Just something to do, I guess. Just playing around, and it ended up being really fun. So I
Yeah.
just put 2 different images together and messed
Yeah,
around a
well,
little bit until
we
I found
love
something
it,
that
and-
looks really cool.
And what was great was the fact that was a benefit that you were part of for a great organization in terms of the survivors of South Dakota that have dealt with domestic abuse and sexual abuse and so forth. And it was a great fundraiser down at Van Arts. And that was one of 3 pieces that we took home that night.
Yes.
And actually wanted a 4th, but didn't make a second bid because we were out having a little fun afterward. But you know what's been fun is to get to know you and Scott, your husband, here as neighbors, but
Yes.
also to watch the art that you create, because what's interesting is you find mannequins And then you kind of make them into planters for the most part, correct?
Yep.
How did that process start?
I don't know. I have these ideas in my head.
They're constantly going?
I look at stuff and I think, I could do something with that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I did. I looked at that. I thought, that could be a cool plant holder. So then I started just making them into plant holders, getting mannequins, spray painting them, putting tops on them.
Yeah. What got you into art to begin with?
And it just seemed like we were all doing like a bunch of shows at the same
Don't really know. It's just what pops in my head.
Was
is
it
what
something
I do.
early
What
when
I
you were
do.
Childhood?
Yes, and photography.
Okay, and photography.
And photography.
Okay. See, I loved photography when I was a kid. I had my own darkroom when I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it was all black and white because I couldn't have temperature control to do the color and so forth. But, now people can basically take anything digitally and make something of it. So what do you like to work with when you do that photography and so forth?
Well, most of them are my son's image.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just take random pictures I'll take a picture of a wall, a light bulb, just anything. And then I'll put it together with my son's image, with his faces, and make one image out of the two images.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. I love the look of it and so forth. But you were also, I won't say traveling, but you're at a lot of shows that take place, especially here at Sioux Falls.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you have coming up for the summer then? Is it going to be busy?
I have, my next one is June 11th.
Okay.
In the parking lot of Last Stop CD
All
on
right.
the east side.
Yeah.
And that one I've never done before, so I'm kind of excited about that. And I have Art Collective, and that's in July.
Mm-hmm.
And then I usually do bronze art casting.
Yeah.
Every month.
Yeah,
every
and that's the
Saturday.
one we've been to a few times
Yeah.
and so forth. That's great to see. And a lot of fun because it's right across from Falls Park. Usually it's the same time as the farmers market that's going on, so that's great. What do you enjoy about those shows then when you go out and about?
Meeting people and just explaining. They're interested in what I do, so it's fun to see their reaction when I explain exactly what double exposure is and what I've done with it. Because now I have them on shirts and buttons and all kinds of stuff.
In fact, we have a new fridge. Let's see, is that one
the
of
magnet?
yours? Yeah, I think we got one of your magnets on it. Yes, we do. Yeah.
So people are always so interested when I tell them, when I say this is double exposure photography, they just kind of lean in and then I explain exactly what it is. They just think it's so interesting.
Excellent.
So it's
well,
fun.
we love being your neighbor first of all, but also love when we go out and about and we do see you at these different shows and being able to support you and so forth. If people are interested in your artwork, what should they do? Where do they need to go to find out more?
I have an art page, and it's Rox Montagne. ROXMONTAGNE.
All right. Well, I hope we send a lot of people your way and keep supporting you. But Roxy, thank you so much. Appreciate you being on. And let's get let's see. Rachel Roberts. Come on over. Sit down a while, huh? Yeah, Rachel is another neighbor. Actually, she lives right below us, but she was on one of the early episodes, weren't you?
Yes.
Wow.
Very early.
That it was. It's kind of funny because, when this apartment down below us came up, and we were saying, oh, who's looking for one? And you kind of happened to be looking for one at the time. Then it didn't happen, and then it did.
Yes.
But now you're leaving us. Oh,
sorry.
God. Oh, heartbreak.
Thank you.
But the reason that I had you on in the first place is the fact that you do some poetry.
I dabble.
Yeah,
yes.
you dabble.
I'm a dabbler, yes.
But you are also an instructor. You are a teacher.
Yes.
Currently out at the new Jefferson High School.
Yes.
But you came over there from New Tech. And when you were at New Tech, one of the things you were doing was theater and also a little bit of a improv curriculum.
Yes.
Of which I got to be a part of. And it was so fun to see that, there's this young group that has such great talent, first of all, but also an interest
in
the arts, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
What did you learn from that experience at New Tech that takes you then into Jefferson?
So I am no longer teaching theater at Jefferson. I had no formal instruction in theater and really no formal experience except for a 6th grade play.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what I learned was how much I really enjoyed it.
Right.
Yeah, and the community that develops as a result of theater.
Yeah.
So just to see my students really flourish and create a community among themselves in the theater classroom, and now at Jefferson as a part of a theater community, a larger theater community. I just feel like there's not much to compare it to. Right. So yeah.
And what do you hope to? Are you looking maybe that Jefferson might at some point say, "Hey, Rachel, we know you have this background. Can you do something else for us and help us out with the theater?"
Maybe. I feel like there's so many more qualified people than I am when it comes to theater at Jefferson. And so far, like, we had a great season this year. SpongeBob the musical came to Jefferson, and it was amazing. And I went and saw some of my students. They were fantastic. So if I can ever add value to what we already have going on at Jefferson, I absolutely will. But we've got some amazing instructors there, and definitely some amazing student talent. So
all right, what about the dabbling in poetry? You've been dabbling at all since you've been here in this lovely house?
Not as much lately, but I feel a comeback coming on.
Oh, yeah. We like to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had some really lovely neighbors gift me some the necessary materials for Christmas. So I have no excuse.
And don't forget the peanut butter.
Absolutely.
The nutter butter
fuel.
On the first day.
Yes, the fuel for
the
See,
my mother always had, when I got home from the first day of school, she had chocolate chip cookies for me. But Rachel and I have been friends for quite some time now, and I knew that she was a lover of peanut butter.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah,
yes.
And I don't bake peanut butter cookies, but I did go out and get you nutter butter peanut cookies for your first day of school.
It was so sweet. Yeah. And perfect way to end the first day of school. Absolutely.
That's for sure. Yeah. So we look forward to more of that. But I want to make sure you start writing again. No, because you're talented. What do you have that's off the top of your head of one of the poems that you've written? Do you have any in memory, in rote?
That I have memorized? No, I don't. Unfortunately. I'm really more of an appreciator of the arts. So in order for the arts to thrive, you need not only the people who make it, but also the people who appreciate it. I feel like that's really where my role is. And so lately, maybe more enjoying poetry myself. I wish I could point to a poet that I've been really enjoying the most, but lately, I feel like I'm more enjoying local performing arts.
True.
So, I know you saw Cabaret recently.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I got to, my best friend of, 25 years. She and I went to that together. It was the first performance we've ever been to together.
Really?
She was visiting in town from Rapid City. We got some tickets, and we had a wonderful time. Left the theater that night feeling like I'm sure everybody did, just just really in awe of what we had just experienced. It was a fantastic
production, no doubt about that. And so again, look forward to more pieces from you.
All right,
because you are such a lovely young lady.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure to have you, not only as a friend but now as a neighbor. And then we'll have to find ways to get in contact with you. Now we will. All right, but thank you, Rachel. We appreciate
you, Dave.
It. All righty. Gramster, don't fall asleep up there. It's your turn. He was just nodding off. He's got this nice, king-size type of lawn chair and so forth, and he's got to come down 2 steps and make his way over here to the microphone. But Graham is a big supporter of the arts, especially when it comes to the comedy scene. And so, Graham, what have you seen this last year in the comedy scene that has really kind of tripped the trigger?
I think this last year I've been getting more into the improv side of things. Just enjoying that more and more. As you know, Improv Falls is big right now.
Very big. And we were in a show together in Provenopolis.
Yep. There's that new one out of I think they're
Brookings.
based out of Brookings. Yeah. So I've seen one of their shows. I haven't seen just a standalone show of theirs yet, but we'll see kind of what happens with Basement Dwellers, kind of where that ends up. But yeah, just kind of really enjoying the improv side of things right now.
What do you enjoy more about that than other types of the arts when it comes to theater and being on stage?
I like the storytelling aspect of improv.
Okay.
When it forces you to, just by its nature, be vulnerable, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be comfortable with just putting everything out there.
True.
And that is not me.
Because you go to a lot of comedy.
Yep.
Both stand-up and improv and so forth, and you travel even for it, don't you?
Yep.
How does the comedy here compare to, say, Omaha, Twin Cities and so forth? Are we on the level?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Hands down. I mean, I routinely, when I'm out and about going other places, I routinely have moments where I'm like, really? This is not, I mean, it's not that it's bad, but I'm like, it's so much better. and that's not to say there isn't talent at other places.
Right.
I have some friends down in the Omaha scene that are just absolutely hilarious. But just going to some of the open mics here and going to some of the open mics other places, it just seems night and day. I mean, just the amount of talent we have in this area is just crazy.
And the other thing that is forgotten so often is the fact that we have so many artists and entertainers that it's their gig. It's a full-time basis. It's not just that they're out there for a hobby or an avocation and so forth.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that are doing it. So who have you seen of late that you've been impressed by?
As lately, on the comedy side, I just watched, there was that show we were at, Improv Falls here.
Oh, Improv Falls down at yeah.
Yep. That was really good. On the theater side, I really, really liked the presentation that Goodnight Theater put on of Into the Woods.
Into the Woods.
Fantastic
production.
An amazing
Yes,
rendition of that. I liked, going back a little further. This is more of a traveling show, but I got to see Fiddler on the Roof for the first time live. I mean, I'd never actually sat down and watched it live.
Tradition.
Yeah, and it was amazing at the Pavilion. So I mean, so many good things going on in the area.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Graham, always appreciate the chats and so forth. And thank you, of course. Graham is actually one of the unpaid staff members of the Dave Holly Hour. He is one of the first of all, to share it every... I don't know who's first, you or Jesse Moffett. Between the two of you, somebody always shares the show first, and so I greatly appreciate that. But Graham is also a tech guru, so any questions I have, I can always go to Graham and say, hey, this isn't working for me, what's going on? So Graham, appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, my friend. And we're about to start grilling, but we have one more person to have on the show. Oh, look, she's sitting up. Is she on a throne? Is it the queen of the unpaid staff? I think it is. Miss Melissa's. Hello, dear.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I figured you were. I'm also doing well. Thank you. Appreciate it. And one of the things that you do a lot is karaoke.
Yes.
Yeah, you've been in some
I have
contests.
some friends who are into karaoke. I don't know how that happened exactly, but
yeah, it seems to be. But we've been friends for a few years now.
Yes.
And always enjoy going out with you. And we've had you along at various shows that we've been to, shows that we've done. But also, we go to karaoke quite often.
Yes,
what's the go-to for you?
The go-to right now
Yeah.
is Open Arms by Journey.
Okay.
Yeah, I just started doing that one, and that's actually really fun.
Yeah, because that's
not
not the first Journey song you've sung. No.
Don't Stop Believin' is a karaoke staple. It's also one that people say you should never do, but that's because a lot of people can't really do it well. But that's okay, because most times people will sing along and they don't even know.
Yeah.
And late enough in the night, doesn't matter if you can sing or not.
Yeah,
as long as you're
you get
picking
to the
a
point
crowd
where all
pleaser.
the liquid encouragement is involved.
Yes.
And,
yes, and then
it's
people
pretty
just
easy
want to hear
to go.
something they can sing along with and get excited about. So Piano Man, that's another fun one to do. Yeah.
What have you enjoyed in the past? Because like I was saying earlier, the first time that we had kind of one of these roundabouts was at your place, at your house.
Yes.
In the backyard, where we had the unpaid staff on to talk about what was going on in the arts. And so what have you seen this past year that really intrigued you or made you say, wow, that's a great production?
Oh, I really, really enjoyed Goodnight Theater's version of Little Shop of Horrors.
That was fun.
I loved how, spoiler alert, the things come down at the end and the whole theater is filled with tentacles and, confetti and stuff. And that was unexpected. It was a bigger production than I'm used to seeing from them. I mean, Rocky Horror Picture Show a couple years ago was fantastic,
that's right. Yeah.
but it was in a smaller venue and super well pulled off. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed Little Shop of Horrors. That was super fun.
Yeah. What else have you been to that you've been enjoying besides Goodnight Theater and so forth?
I saw Little Shop of Horrors again this last, just a couple months ago. When my own niece.
That's right.
Was a senior
yes.
at West Central High School, and they did Little Shop of Horrors, and she played Audrey. Her name is Audrey. So it was kind of a good swan song for her because she was graduating this year. So that was really fun too. And it's fun how sometimes those productions go in phases. You'll see everybody's doing the Wizard of Oz this year, and there's like 4 of them or whatever. So it was fun to see, a professional version of that, and then the high school version, and to see my niece.
All right.
Really rock it.
How did she do as a fan of the arts, and how did she do as Aunt Melissa?
How did I do as
how do you rate her in her performance as someone that just loves arts, but then also as Aunt Melissa, where we expected to be a little bit better?
She did a fantastic job. I mean, it's high school production,
right?
So I have to look at all the performances as that because these are not professional actors. But she did great. She rocked her songs, and there were several other actors that really did a fabulous job. The dentist. His name was Elijah Hui, and it was awesome. Creepy, because the dentist is supposed to be creepy. But it was fantastic. They really had a lot of talent, and they really, obviously had a lot of fun. I mean, you remember high school productions. They are a lot of fun, and so it's really nice to be able to see that come out. As Auntie Lissa, it was a little harder to watch because...
Really?
Well, because Audrey is an abused character.
Right.
And I had never... felt it the way I did when I'm watching my own little niece up there.
Right.
She's not that little, but she's kind of diminutive in size, so she's little. But watching her up there with makeup on to look like she has a shina, and that was actually hard on me, and I didn't necessarily expect to have that kind of reaction to that character because I never have before. But so watching my own little niece play an abused girlfriend. She must have been doing a good job because it kind of hit me hard.
It brought the emotions out, huh? Yeah. What do you love about theater? What do you love about arts and entertainment in general, actually?
I love seeing anybody get that excited about what they're doing. And it could be anything. I mean, it can be math. I might not be able to get that excited about it, but they do. And just watching anybody do something they are that excited about or talk about something they are that excited about. I mean, the world needs more geeks. Geeking out on stuff is what fuels all creativity, all energy, all, that's what makes the world go around. So I just love to see people really doing what they love.
Yeah, and that's what this show is all about, talking about people and their passions. My passion is talking to other people about their passions. Well, Melissa, always great to have you on as a friend, but also as an arts lover and an arts appreciator.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. And we'll be back to wrap up the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment. Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XL Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or xlchiros.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XL Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
From the Dipsy Doodle Studios at the world headquarters of Big D Entertainment, a 40-square-foot home studio in the middle of America, it's Dave Holly.
Thanks again, everybody. Thank you to my great guests, Lezlee Parker and the Grill Gang, we might call them. That was a fun time passing the mic around while we held out through thunderstorms and so forth. It was quite the day, Memorial Day. Well, it was quite the weekend, wasn't it? Anyway, we also, hey, thanks to the people that get power back on for you and so forth. Tough jobs they have to deal with, right? All right. Also, thank you as well to the staff at The Source on North Phillips Avenue for the space to host our conversation with Lezlee. We will get back to Our Wine Bar this coming week for episode number 133 Conversations. Thank you for listening as well, the downloading, the streaming, the sharing. The sharing. It is all greatly appreciated. We are now over 9,000 downloads, and we are starting to ramp up for the big 10K. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Get all 132 episodes online at DaveHolleyHour.com. As Arts South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, I'm Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
The Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by the Sky Lounge and Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Ale Hop Brewery Tours, and Jesse Moffett Entertainment. If you would like to contribute to the continued success of this podcast, go to DaveHolleyHour.com. At the bottom of the front page is the additional links section. Click on the orange button, Dave Holly on Linktree. You can order merchandise, become a Dave Holly Hour VIP, and make contributions to the show. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.